One of the great features of smartImager is the ability to make your own compatibility tests. A compatibility test can be any test which equals either true or false. And these can be WMI queries or system environment variables. You can even do tests on folders, files, on the registry, or you can write your own script and use the output of that as a test as well. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create your own custom compatibility test. So let's go ahead and get started. If we look at the console and we go to Components, Compatibility, this is where all of our compatibility tests are located in our repository. Now for our example, what we're going to do is we're going to assume that we have an application that should only be installed if the system is being imaged from a certain IP range. So we're going to test to see if the client PC starts with 192.168.2, and if it does, we're going to use that compatibility to install our application. So to get started, all we need to do is click Create, but before we do, it's important to make sure that our right side pane is blank. So if we have an open test already, we want to make sure that we close that test. I will get more into this in the video entitled Compatibility Groups. If you want to learn how to write compatibility groups of tests, then watch the video titled Compatibility Groups. Until then, make sure that the right side pane is empty and click the button called Create. Now, you can name your compatibility anything. I'm going to name mine IP starts with 192, if I can type here, 192.168.2, and I'm going to go ahead and click the Create button. It now brings me into my compatibility editor, and by default it'll assume you're making a folder test, but we want to change that. What we're going to do is we're going to click it and then click the pencil button, which allows us to edit the compatibility. And the type of test that we want to run in order to grab the IP address, we're going to use a WMI query. It's not the only way we can grab the IP address, but for this particular instance, that's the test we're going to use is a WMI query. And then on our item, we're going to click Browse. Now the Browse button brings us into our WMI browser. However, if I click Close here and I chose something like a registry key test and clicked Browse, it's going to bring me into the registry editor, or the registry browser rather. So note that the browse underneath item is going to be relative to the type of test that you're using. So I'll go back and choose WMI query. For my item in my WMI browser, I'm going to give it a class to start with, and in that case I'm going to put win32_network and hit enter. Now you need to give it a class to start with. You don't have to, but if you don't, it will take a long time to iterate through all the different WMI classes. And if you don't know what WMI class to start with, you can either email us at support@smartimager.com and we will help you write the compatibility, or just use a search engine and type in WMI and then what you're looking for. So WMI computer name or WMI IP address, and it'll list for you the class you need to start with. From here, what we'll do is we'll go to Network Adapter Configuration and we'll choose any one of the child components. Understand that smartImager is going to start at the parent and recursively go through all of the children to find the property you need. So it doesn't matter what child you choose. So in this case, I'm going to just choose the top child, and the property I'm looking for is called IP address. So I'll click Select and then I'll click OK. That'll fill in my item and my property for me. Now I need to choose the operator I want to use, and in this case I'm going to choose starts with because I want to see if the IP starts with this, and then in my comparison is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to choose 192.168.2. I'm going to put another dot there because I don't want it to, and let me change that from a 3 to a dot. I don't want it to look for 20 through 29 or 200 through 255. I only want it to go for .2 because I'm looking for that last octet. Now, if I left that period off, if I had a client PC I was imaging and their IP address ended with .20 something, this compatibility will equal true, and I don't want it to. The last field here is going to be the importance. By default, the importance on a compatibility is going to be low. The only reason you would ever need to change this is if you have multiple compatibilities that could equal true, and you want to make sure that only one equals true, in which you can raise its importance. So I'm going to leave that at 1. I'm going to click Update, and then I'm going to click Save, and now I've created my custom compatibility. It's now listed on the left-hand side in part of my repository, so I can use it in anything I want to. For instance, if I go to Applications and I select an application, in this case Google Chrome, I can go to Compatibility and then search for that compatibility I just made. I'll search by IP, and here it is. I'll click Applied and click Save. Now, whenever the client PC is being imaged and it sees, I have Google Chrome, can I be installed? The compatibility is say you can install Google Chrome only if your IP starts with these 3 octets. That's about it for smartImager and creating compatibility tests. Once again, you can also group tests into a compatibility group. Please refer to our video entitled Compatibility Groups to learn how to do that. And of course, you can always hit us at support@smartimager.com if you ever need any help or don't know how to create a compatibility test. We'll be happy to create it for you. And if you just want to chat, hit us up at contact us@smartimager.com.